Hey guys, girls, and people of all genders, because we do not care. We love you all. Welcome to the MMA Monk channel. My name is Keval Joshi. I'm the man with a plan, hopefully with a hairband, and with this lovely tattoo. With me is, say your name, please.
My name is Nirmal and I'm here for the ride.
Okay. I thought he was going to say Nirmal Madhukumar and just go with the setup, but as you see, he does his own thing and is also there for the ride. Nirmal, how are we doing, baby?
You're doing good, brother. So today we are going to talk about UFC
Today.
300. And the thing is, before we start bitching about UFC 300, I just want to say that it is a great card. It's got a lot of fights on
Mm-hmm.
it. It's a big main
Mm-hmm.
card. It's got a lot of fights on it and a lot of bangers on it. We got Oliveira, we got Rakic and Prohaska.
But I think it's important to also, positivity, right? I think it's important to embrace that. And as MMA fans who have been getting shitty ass fight night cards, right? It's just so good to see a card that is packed to the brim, top to bottom. Like there are fights, and maybe they haven't picked the prelims and whatever early prelims because everyone's gonna get pissed. These are all fights that you would want on a main card.
I mean, we are
Like let's say
looking
you
at
go,
13 fights
Mhm.
on the main card.
Yeah,
I mean, at least the way it's
yeah,
looking right now, right? It's looking like it's going to be 13 fights on the main card, which is not normal for a pay per view.
not normal for pay per view. And like, look, here's the thing: every fight from Bobby Green to Jason Miller, all the way to Bo Nickel, Cody, Calvin Qatar, Justin, Zhang Weili, like all of these could individually head at least a fight night, is what I'm
Hmm,
trying to say. Like they're all
absolutely.
fight night main event, you know? So I think it's a very good card for what it is, 300. And now I think if you want to go like individual fight, we can, or should we start with the bitching though? I think we have praised it enough. Can we bitch now?
I think let's do a quick rundown of the card just to praise all the fights.
Quick rundown.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
let's talk
And
about
then
the unannounced main event.
then yeah, okay. But maybe we don't know. We don't know. One of these could be the main event. We don't know. Imagine
One of
though.
these cannot be the main event. Come on, it
Yeah.
cannot be. I'm not going to let it
Oh,
happen, bro.
I thought you were Mr. Positive, Nirmal. I thought you were the one started. I want to be positive
It's
in the start.
TBD. It's to be
No, can't be
determined,
main
right?
event though.
It can't be. It's already been
TBD,
announced that
TBD,
it's TBD.
TBD.
So let's start with Bobby
Okay.
Green and Jim Miller, and
Yeah.
it's a fun fight.
Banger.
A fun fight right off the bat,
Banger.
and Bobby Green, two veterans of the game. Bobby Green, exciting style, Philly shell, a lot of feints, a lot of showmanship.
Beater of Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, the guy who submitted a sad out of prime Tony. I mean, I have to live to see all these things in my life. And
We paid for it by watching Tony's Boogeyman run. But yeah, go on. Talk about Jason
he
Miller.
did.
Jim Miller, sorry, Jim Miller.
Jim Miller, yes. Then veteran of the game, he was on
Mhm.
UFC 100 and 200, if I'm not wrong. And now he's going to be on UFC
Yep.
300.
Yep.
And,
Specifically requested to be in all three. Like he's like, I
yes,
want to complete the
exactly.
trilogy. And I think for me, it's very cool to watch a legend in MMA. And I'm not gonna pretend and be like, oh, I watched every one of his fights. I'm not gonna be one of those
Hmm.
guys just for the sake of YouTube
There are
either.
more than 50
But
fights on
I'll
his
say that
career.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So not gonna be that guy. But like we were talking about Tony Ferguson, it's so quick the decline in MMA, right? So it's very
Hmm.
positive for me to watch a guy who's that old, that much of a veteran, and still doing reasonable. Like his brain is there, he's successful in
Yeah.
the cage. Like it's good. It's a good story to have. It's very rare that you see a legend still able to like kind of keep to the pace of the
Yeah. Still
era.
have fun fights and
And
be competitive.
still,
And because he was never
exactly,
a
be
big
competitive.
star, UFC is not
Yeah.
using him to set up new generation of fighters. They are giving him a Bobby Green,
Yeah.
right? Not a
Which
Paddy
is
Pimblett.
fair. Miller beats Pimblett. Miller beats Paddy. Just like I'm putting it out there. Miller beats Paddy, bro. Come on.
We'd like Miller to beat Paddy, but Paddy is gonna pull through
Okay,
by the
okay,
looks of
okay.
it.
Okay. I thought Tony was gonna beat Paddy until he showed up
Yeah.
with Dave Goggins in his corner. And Goggins is making him do so many knee dips that poor Tony's knees that are not working already just go, I'm
Already.
out.
And he came into the
Already.
fight with apparently a torn MCL.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How could
Yeah,
you not if you're doing? That's what I mean. Okay, I know this is UFC 300. We're not talking about the
yeah. We
Tony
should do the
Ferguson
rundown.
thing, but I think it deserves. No, I know, but I think it deserves to be talked about because we're talking about veterans. We're talking about long lasting. We're talking about longevity,
True.
right? And so for me, like that's the example. So when I'm happy about Jim Miller, I'm happy about Jim Miller because I've seen Tony, who just a couple
Hmm.
of fights ago was the guy, right? Like the boss.
Yeah, the
And then
boogeyman, El
sheer
Kukui.
decline, sheer decline, never, it's like a catastrophic decline. And the worst part is he refuses to learn. So, what I'm happy with Jim Miller is I'm sure that if we go back to UFC 100 Jim Miller, UFC 200 Jim Miller, and the Jim Miller of now, there'll be subtle differences because there have to be to survive this long, you know?
Hmm.
So, that's something that I'm really interested to see. And I think, speaks to his intelligence. So, good job, Jim Miller.
And the next fight is Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Not
Fun
exactly
fight.
a UFC 300 kind of a star power fight, but it's still a fun fight because
Mm,
Andrade's got power.
fun fight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Marina's
Andrade's got
got
power.
great boxing.
Hmm.
Rodriguez
She's
has
quick. She's
beautiful
young.
boxing, for those of you who don't know. Yeah. I know a lot of fans are very reluctant to try women's MMA, but Marina Rodriguez is one of the better, like high caliber boxers in
It's a new
WMMA.
generation of female
Jessica
fighters,
Andrade,
right?
yep. Jessica Andrade is one of those few female fighters with some power in her punches.
Power. Yeah,
And
genuine
she
power.
she knows how to hit the body, Nirmal. Like she's one of
She knows.
even in men's MMA fighting, not a lot of fighters hit the body, but Jessica Andrade does that. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be
Again,
one of
they
those
they're
fights
really
that,
relying on it being a striking match.
which is great. I mean, that's what we all claim that we want,
No,
right?
which
Every
is
time
great.
anyone grapples,
That is the I'm
yeah,
saying the
yeah, yeah,
matchmaking
yeah,
logic is that they don't want Jessica Andrade to use her physical
yeah,
in this fight.
definitely. No, no, no. But
The next one
they
is
picked Kayla Harrison.
oh yeah, let's talk about
So
that.
we'll
Kayla
get to,
Harrison and Holly Holm.
oh, you want to go? Yeah. I mean, it's just one fight above. There's for me in the list, it's showing Sadiq Youssef and Diego Lopez, which is like both of these guys are great fighters. Not
Great
great, these
finishers,
are
great
good
fighters,
fighters.
got power.
Yeah, good finishers, got power, got technique. Aren't exactly elite in whatever they do. I mean, Sadiq to me still seems like a guy who's figuring out what his
Hmm.
best thing is. You know, Diego Lopez is very aggressive. Every time I'm seeing him, he looks like he's trying to murder a guy. And
Yeah,
every
he's fun to
post
watch.
interview, he smiles. Yeah, he's. I I don't know if there's a murder switch in some of these people because when they fight, they're like, "I'm gonna kill you," and then instantly post match interview, like, hey. It's like too happy, but
I mean,
good
it's
for
part of
him.
the
Good
game,
for
right?
him.
It's part of the game to have that switch in you.
Yeah, yeah. That they
And
have that vicious.
Lopez got the speed advantage in this fight. Sadiq has a lot of muscle,
Yeah,
and you know what comes with that. Lopez is more leaner,
yeah. But Sadiq is
faster.
also fast.
Yeah, Sadiq is fast, but he as the fight
Sadiq
goes
is
on,
fast. Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah,
true. Because I've always watched Sadiq fight people who are somehow burlier than him for some reason because he's
uh,
got that lanky build. Even though he's muscular, he's got a little lanky build. So
no, he's
you're right
lean,
though.
but he's got a
When I
lot of
like
muscle. Yeah,
yeah, but when I put the two together, like I think Diego would have the advantage. But this is another thing. Like a lot of times, we as MMA fans, we postulate that maybe this guy has the advantage, but we don't know until it happens, right? So it's going
of
to be
course.
interesting
That
to
is the
see the
beauty of
street
the fight
battle as
game.
well. Exactly. Speaking of things we don't know, at least as UFC fans, Kayla Harrison.
Kayla
See that
Harrison.
segue?
They say she's a female fighter.
You wanna start off your career as like saying that, Nirmal? Do you really?
I'm
Do you
taking a book
really
out of the
want this
MMA
to be
guru,
the
bro. Trash everybody. Get the hype.
bro? You're gonna
No, no,
get
no. I don't want to
cancelled
do
first video. First video.
that. I said, say she's a female fighter. Don't they say that?
There is a how do I say this? There's a implication in the line that you're
Uh,
giving that isn't exactly verbal, but it's present enough to make the vibes go off.
I'm just saying that she's
No,
got a
but
lot of muscles. And it's very impressive that a woman has a lot of muscles, and it's a compliment, it's completely a compliment.
It's a compliment.
And
A compliment.
the thing is that her coming over to the UFC would have made a lot more hype and a lot more anticipation if she was coming in undefeated. And there was a time when people wanted to
Mm.
watch her fight Amanda Nunes or Cyborg or other,
Which was like two matches. Mhm.
yeah.
Two matches ago, she was
And
undefeated,
then
right?
we
Just
saw her,
lost.
lost in the PFL, and it's not the same anymore. But and again against her
Mhm.
old Holly Holm, who's primarily a striker.
Mm.
But let's see. Holly
That
Holm
I will
could
agree with.
absolutely light up Taylor Harrison on the feet.
She could, but my point being that you are right that the Holly Holm that we are getting is not exactly the Holly Holm of Ronda Rousey era,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's very interesting. She's once again in the role of a spoiler.
I was gonna say that one thing she could bring that could be interesting, similar to Ben Askren, is a trash talk. She is a talker.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
but you're right. She's a good trash talker. UFC does not have a single marketable MMA
female fighter.
women's fighter.
Yeah,
Valentina.
exactly.
Valentina's off the thing.
Nunes
This girl,
retired.
Zhang Weili, I think, yeah, she retired. Nunes retired, but Zhang Weili, I think, could have been or can still be a
We'll get
great
there. We'll get
star.
there.
Yeah, just the language barrier, I think, is the only thing holding her back. And
Okay, let's go to the next fight.
anyways, yeah, let's go. Let's go to the next fight. But Kayla Harrison could do good. We're gonna watch wrestling versus
We'll
boxing,
find
and
out. We'll
hopefully
find
someone
out.
gets knocked out.
Davison
We'll find out. We'll
Figueredo
find out. Is
versus Cody Garbrandt. Someone's getting knocked out.
ooh, ooh, someone's getting killed, bro.
Yeah.
Decapitated.
And it's a bantamweight fight. It's the first time we're gonna see Figueredo in bantamweight.
I'm doing the Cody Garbrandt. You remember the load up punch?
Ah,
He's
I
just like
remember
loading
against
up and then just go,
Asunsao,
pow.
right? Against Asunsao.
Yeah. Oh, good memory. Asun how it
Yeah.
was. Yes. 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 Yes.
On the bell as well.
Figueredo's second fight. Figueredo's second fight in bantamweight, by the way, not
Really?
first. His second
Which
fight.
which was the
Yeah,
first
it's
one?
his second one. I think against either Rob Font or someone like that. It's either maybe just would be Rob Font.
Okay.
Wait.
Rob Font?
Wait, David. It's his second fight. I remember. I remember that much.
Okay.
Let's Figueredo. Because I just remember watching his last fight and he did pretty good in that.
Yeah, he's good.
It
He
was
was
Rob
champion.
Font. It was
Rob
Rob
Font.
Font.
Okay.
He won against Rob Font. Yeah, it was Rob Font.
Cody is coming off a couple
He
of wins, couple of
definitely
patient decision wins, which he didn't lose his cool like he usually does. And in this fight, is a dangerous fight
still
for.
doesn't have a chin.
I mean, he's got finished so many times back to back. I'm not surprised he doesn't have a chin, and he leaves it up there as well. Doesn't have his hands up most of the time. And this is a dangerous fight for him because Davison can hit. Davison doesn't have to go through a grueling weight cut like he does back in flyweight. And
No.
let's see what Cody does when he gets hit.
I also think that what we saw in the Rob Font fight, I mean, you said you didn't watch it, so I can let you know that Davison was actually wrestling a lot more. If you remember back in the Brandon Moreno fights, also Davison's wrestling is very unorthodox. It's not at all the wrestling we have seen with these American wrestlers. It's very flowy, and the fact that he's going up a weight class means that he has more stamina. He can wrestle way more. And I think that will be a very good wrinkle to add, especially against Cody Garbrandt, who, while he's been an American top team, so we know he has a good wrestling game. He's not a wrestler in his mind, though. Like in his mind, Cody Garbrandt's the lethalest striker in the world.
Alpha male?
That's what I'm saying. He's team alpha male, so I know he has some good wrestling.
You said American top team.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Alpha male, the ones that are short, stacky with chins. I was doing the chin. I was going to do the chin. Yeah. With butt chins. That's what they have good wrestling, right? Faber had great wrestling. This guy, another team alpha male graduate. TJ Dillashaw had great defensive wrestling. Okay. Next thing is Bo Nickel versus Cody Brunda something. It's a Bo Nickel fight, man. They put a Bo
Bo
Nickel
Nickel
fight in
fight.
again. Yeah. Some scrub from God knows where.
Now, way more experience than Bo Nickel, though. 15
That's
fights.
what I'm saying. I don't know this guy. Yeah, he's got 15 fights, so he's also got 5 losses.
Yeah, he does.
So 10 wins, 5 losses. Yeah, so that's not when you say 15 fights, it's not like it's like
But still 10 wins, though. Let's see what Bo Nickel does.
yeah,
He's been
that's 10 wins is great, but we don't know how many of those came not in the UFC also. I'm sure there were more wins non UFC than there are wins in UFC in this guy's record. I can bet that.
probably
Yeah. Okay,
Cody Brundage.
going up. Yeah. Calvin. Yeah, you look up his record. I'm gonna go to the next fight. Calvin Cater versus Sterling. I mean, theoretically a great fight. Uh,
Great fight.
I say
Two good
theoretically
people.
because he. Yeah, I say theoretically because both of them have styles that sometimes they are weird. Cater can get
Mm.
very defensive, jabby at times, even though he's a lethal striker. And Sterling is, I mean, we know how weird he is nonetheless. But again, great
The Funk
fighters.
Master.
Great Funk Master. Interesting to see how he comes back from the loss against Sean O'Malley,
Again,
right?
first fight at featherweight.
First fight at featherweight, yeah, will have a great stamina boost. So a lot of unknowns that we will see. Calvin Cater kind of known. Calvin Cater, Sterling could be a good fight. Moving on from that, also one more rung up. Kiri Prohachka versus Alexander Rakic.
Oh, that's a great fight.
Oh,
That is an orgasmic fight.
oh. That's the face I was making. That's the face I was making. I was doing the that. It's a great fight. I still
And
remember Rakic's head kick.
Rakic has good kicks. Yuri is
Yeah.
coming off of his loss against Pereira.
Yep.
So he's probably coming in hungry as hell. And these two were supposed to fight even before. They have called each other out.
Yes,
Rakic has
the
been on his tail for a while.
yeah. Both
Understandable,
Europeans.
right?
Both
Uh,
Europeans.
yeah, both Europeans.
Yeah.
And Yuri got a title shot. Yuri became the champion in 3 fights in the UFC. Rakic has been fighting in the UFC for a good while.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that Rakic has
The
been calling him out.
justifiable anger. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
justifiable anger. But my also point is that Rakic being such a good kicker is interesting because Yiri has been susceptible to kicks. If you
Yeah,
remember,
Yuri
even
keeps
against a fight was
doing the side movements and
all of that wacky movement. I think we're gonna see a knockout. If I'm a betting man,
hmm,
this is the one I'm putting my money on for knockout.
definitely. It's a question of
Even though
who.
Yiri has that, yeah, even though Yiri has that head who apparently just never gets knocked out. He got
And he
knocked out
just
in
got
the
knocked
Reyes
out.
fight, and then yeah, he's got a recovery time of 2 seconds apparently. That's all it takes, bro. That's all
The
it
thing is that
takes.
Yuri's been knocked out in his pre-UFC career a lot as well. So who knows getting knocked out
Hmm.
by Alex Pereira
True.
affects his chin.
Knocked? Did he? Was he knocked down? No, he wasn't even knocked down, right? He was just knocked around,
True,
not even
but it's
down.
still Pereira,
Around.
right? He had
It
a
is
good
Pereira.
left hook and a couple of nasty elbows, like nasty elbows.
Yeah, true. No, I think I remember there was this point where Yiri did fall almost flat on
Hmm.
his face, and it was like, yeah, there was a knockdown. There was a knockdown. I stand
There
corrected.
was,
The
yeah,
elbows
but
into, yeah.
it was like
Yeah, that is
he
true.
went out of it,
Uh,
came back into it, kind of,
yeah, typical Yiri. But I think there's a
typically,
KO in this fight.
definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a KO in this fight. Yeah. And now we're coming to the proper banger part. Like now we're coming to the UFC 300 banger after banger after banger. Because next up we got Charles Oliveira
The Bronx.
versus yeah, the Bronx versus Arman Sarukian. Woo,
Ooh.
woo.
This is
Yeah.
the kind of fight that UFC puts on, where you're trying to find who is the best.
Yeah.
Because
I have no idea.
we've been wondering who beats who, at the top of the lightweight division for a while now. And Oliveira versus Arman,
Mm-hmm.
it really is a battle of different generations as well.
Yep. It's also a fight between like Islam Makhachev's kryptonite is theoretically Arman Sarukian, if you remember that fight against Arman that he
Hmm.
had way back when it was very 50-50. Or I still think that Arman
I
could have
wouldn't
taken that
say
fight.
I wouldn't say it's a kryptonite because Islam clearly won that fight. He had a
Again,
competitive
I mean,
fight.
I'm saying it in yeah, it's a competitive fight. Okay, fine. Kryptonite is a clear weakness, so I take that back.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
an exaggeration on my part. But I will say it's the one thing that has shown a weakness, rather. So that's why we over exaggerate, right? Because we are like,
Hmm.
he's never had that weakness shown. Even in the Alexander Volkanovski fights, there was never a clear edge where it was like, oh, Volkanovski is beating him. So he's the
Even
closest
Arman
we have,
wasn't
Arman
beating him.
Sarukian.
Arman was able to keep up with the wrestling a little bit in the scrambles. Islam kept judo
Uh,
tripping him over and over again. So,
uh,
right. It was a
yeah, yeah.
competitive fight.
So
And
what
considering,
are we just saying that Islam has no weakness? Are you comfortable saying that?
no, I'm saying Arman Sarukian
Philosophical question.
did not show any weakness in Islam's game.
Okay, okay. Charles
Like if I come,
Oliveira also was not. Still think Arman is. I think Arman's one of those guys who could. Charles Oliveira theoretically deserves the rematch. So
Hmm,
whether they will show weakness in Islam, we will see. But it's a great fight, and
yeah,
I think whoever wins this deserves to get a title shot because, as you said, it's very rare in lightweight that we actually get the best fighting the best. Usually, it takes far too long or it never happens.
no, it
Khabib,
happens.
Tony.
But this is the this is one of the classic UFC fights where they actually put people against
When
each
did
other.
Khabib Tony happen, bro?
Khabib Tony is a cursed fight, bro. They put it together, right?
5 times. 5 times.
Five
Yeah.
times.
And then the fifth time, you know what happened, right? A
The wire
pandemic
happened,
happened. It's
and the pandemic
that
happened.
it's
Yeah.
that
Before that, the
cursed.
wire happened.
It's that
The
no, no,
the pitbull happened.
the wire was fight number 4.
Four, yeah.
We should have learned then. When Tony Ferguson got injured tripping a wire, we should have thought that, you know what, this doesn't happen. Like, this seems odd. We were too desperate. And then God was like, I have
I'm
to
sure
punish
if they
you,
try to put
gave us
that fight
Corona.
a sixth time, an asteroid is gonna come down from the heavens.
Firstly, please don't put that curse on my boy Tony. Like, not even
It's
the earth,
done. I
bro.
mean,
Like, current Tony.
Tony is done, bro. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
sadly,
This is the
tragically,
second time, by the way. We have just come back to the point of Tony and heartbroken ourselves. But
and because we're Tony fans, bro.
Oliveira versus yeah. Oliveira versus Arman is a great fight, and it's going to be very interesting to see Arman's wrestling versus Oliveira's BJJ. Moving on, Gaethje versus Max Holloway.
Ooh. Speaking of Tony,
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God, this card. Why are there so many reminders to Tony in this? But yeah, Gaethje, the one who started or ended rather the boogeyman streak, right, and
yeah.
started the Tony downfall. And like I was telling you when this fight first got announced, I really don't want to see, as much as I love Holloway,
Mm, mm.
I don't know why there's this fear in my heart. Maybe the hangover from Gaethje's Tony fight that it's gonna
Interestingly, that's
be
what
another
Gaethje
one of
said.
those butchering.
Gaethje
Yeah.
was waiting for a title shot, and
He
he said,
did?
"I don't want to fight Max because I don't want to punch him. I like him, but now I'm gonna have to."
That boy
Yeah.
is brutal, bro. That boy is a sadist. Like,
If
he's a great guy. I'm not trying to say that he's a violent individual in his real life, please, MMA
yeah, of
fans.
course,
But in the ring, he is an
in the
absolute
ring is a
savage.
problem.
And that knockout of Dustin Poirier should be even more worrisome for the lightweight division because now you're getting a Gaethje that is patient.
Even
He
Gaethje
can,
didn't anticipate
go
throwing a
stay.
head kick. Like when have you ever
Yeah, yeah,
seen
yeah. Oh,
Gaethje throw a
you
head
saw
kick?
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Gaethje
what he
said that
said.
I've never even done that in sparring. That's what he said.
He said he's never even done that in sparring. So that was
Yeah,
like
he's
the
never
first
done that
time
in
he just threw
sparring.
that
It
technique.
completely just happened. That's what he said in the post-fight interview.
Is he trying to say like God came him and gave him a technique in the middle of a fight? Do this, my
Yeah.
son. It is time. Justin needs to go. Man, that's brutal. That's
I
brutal.
mean, if Max can't take Dustin's power, how is he going to take Gaethje's power?
Yeah. When Dustin can't take Gaethje's power, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Both cases, right?
Dustin
Because in
or
the Max
yeah,
and Dustin fight, the power was the only difference, right?
very much so, very much so. And
Yeah.
it was also enough of a difference that despite the skill, by the end, Max Holloway was close to being beaten. Like I'm a Max fan, but when I say beaten, I don't mean he's gonna go down, but it was getting like uncomfortable to watch. Like it was
Violence,
like,
yeah.
okay, you can
There's a lot of bloodshed.
my hope is that we don't see Blessed turn into Tony. But
Yeah.
speaking, okay, let's speak of what Max can bring to the table against Gaethje. Max has better boxing attacks, I think, even though Gaethje has a better defense.
Hmm.
Lightweight very rarely has that fluid a boxer. Most of the boxers in lightweight are at max they throw like a four punch combo. With
Yeah,
Max, you
volume.
get a four punch combo to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
So that's it, I
If
guess.
I think if Max gets out of the first 3 rounds, he has a legitimate chance in the final rounds to overwhelm Gaethje.
Depends on how bad his lead leg is. You remember those Gaethje
Interesting
kicks?
point. That is true.
Yeah. Because
That is true.
and you got to remember against Dustin Poirier, he didn't throw those kicks because Dustin Poirier in the fight before was punishing him off the kicks. But Dustin Poirier's leg was gone by that punish, and he
Hmm.
needed every inch of his power to punish him that hard. So when you
He
have
did.
Max
That's true.
Holloway, yeah, so those are the things. Like when we say
It's not looking
styles
good
make
for Max.
fights, it's not.
Hmm.
That's why I myself was like, he has punching, and then I was like, just going through my mental list, and I was like, no, this is not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good for
I
Holloway.
think, I
But I
think,
hope I hope he pulls through.
I, I
Not that I
think
don't like
Max
Gaethje,
needs
but I
to.
really hope he pulls through.
I think Max needs to pull out his Jesus card. I think he needs to go to whatever God he's blessed by and be like, for
The
this
Hawaiian
fight, bro,
gods,
give
bro.
me
Hawaiian Jesus.
all the gods.
All the belts. All
Hawaiian
the
Jesus
gods.
needs to pull through. Yeah.
Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. In my opinion, not
Mm,
a UFC 300 kind of fight. It's a
uh,
title fight.
true,
It's a
true,
title fight,
but
but doesn't even feel like a title fight, to be honest.
yeah. What? Who has Yan Jionan beaten last? I don't recall, to be very
When I
honest.
don't recall who has she beaten, but she's on a solid win streak. She's well rounded. It's a good fight. It's a great fight. But I don't
It's a
know
good
about it
fight.
being the co-main of UFC 300.
Yeah, I think it's like it's one of those things where they're just doing the title gets precedence thing. The
Yeah,
real
title
title
does.
always needs to have precedence. It does, and for me, I'm looking this as more of a Zhang Weili showcase. You know, because I think she is amazing. I
She
think
is.
she's one of the best fighters that we currently have.
Hmm.
Her improvement to her wrestling game is
Yeah, training
ridiculous,
with
and it's
Cejudo, she's been looking like Habiba.
exactly and it's something no one asked for in the sense that you know she was already a killer and we knew
Hmm.
that this isn't something that she had
Powerful
that much,
striking.
but yeah, it wasn't as if she was struggling in the striking.
Hmm.
Like she was doing
Hmm.
good,
Hmm.
except that one time Rose Namajunas surprised her with a kick. But except
Yeah,
for that, she was doing good. But to add this new wrinkle to your game and to that crazy
be
good a
incredibly
level,
proficient at it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So massive respect to her drive. Like
Hmm.
that's again going back to WMMA not being as respected as men's MMA.
Yeah,
Anyone who looks at Zhang Weili and does not see a legend is fooling themselves. I think that much we can say. So
I think the fight
I
where
get what
she
you're saying.
uh, solidified herself as a
Hmm?
legend is the fight versus Joanna, where she turned
Joanna
Joanna into an
2. Oh
alien.
man.
Joanna won. Joanna 2
No,
was a
no, no.
knockout, obviously.
That's Joanna 1. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
talking
for
about Joanna
me,
1.
I was watching. I know, but for me, that fight, Joanna versus Zhang Weili 1 was, oh my God, Joanna. I knew Zhang Weili was a killer. I was like, oh my God, Joanna still has it mentally, right?
No, at
But
that time, Joanna was
Weili,
in her prime and, We already knew who Joanna was
It
very
was
well.
post. It was post. It was post Rose. It was post
But
Rose.
still, but still, I don't think one loss takes a champion out of their prime.
Coming to my point, Joanna versus Bailey 2 is the fight where for me it got cemented how bad this lady is because her scale of improvement is ridiculous. It's
Hmm.
like every other fighter improves from here to here to here to here. Zhang Weili goes from here to here. So this scale of improvement, right? To have that's what solidified for me. Oh my god, she's a badass. So looking forward to this one. Really looking forward to this one. But guess what? With that fight, we are out of
Hmm.
fights. We are out of already scheduled fights for UFC 300. So tell me, Nirmal, is that it? Is that our UFC 300 card?
I mean, we got a TBD at the for the main event, and there are all sorts of
A
rumors going around.
TBD. Mm-hmm.
All sorts of rumors
Rumors,
going around.
rumors.
We got McGregor Chandler.
Really?
Now there's talks of is he
McGregor
DDP?
Chandler?
McGregor Chandler, is he
What was
DDP?
that second one? Was the second one?
We'll get into
That's
that.
did you see? Apparently, Nick Diaz was watching this fight card of ours, this fight night, the last one.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
so
didn't see.
Diaz GSP, Diaz GSP.
No, GSP
Are
has
we
already
getting
said
Diaz
that.
GSP?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
That's not. GSP has already said that it's not me. I think it could be Nate corner three.
That sounds like a good fight. And to be
Yeah,
honest, I'm more into Nate Corner 3 than Corner Chandler.
Chandler corner. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say it's a better fight for Connor because he's fought Nate twice, and Nate has been knocked down by Jake Paul, and doesn't have the power to murder Connor. So one thing as a UFC fan is non-negotiable
Mm.
for me is Conor McGregor being on 300.
We're there now. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
we're
there.
there now.
So, and I was gonna say it was awfully convenient this rumor of 165 to get Connor into the main event.
Uh,
And like I said, of the three fights you mentioned Connor Chandler, you mentioned something else, and then you mentioned Easy DDP.
uh,
I'm still I'm still an Easy DDP guy, and I have points. I have points for this. It's not. I'm just not being a contrarian. Okay. Okay.
sure you
So
don't.
I'm not because I'm an Israel. Firstly, I'm an Israel fan. I'm gonna say
Me
this. I know
too.
it's very
Me
easy to
too.
hate on the guy. Yeah,
I'm also an
exactly.
Israel
Okay, so
fan, but
great.
I'm also realistic. I'm also not a
But my
Conor
point
hater.
is, no, you're a corner. You know what rider.
No, no, no.
My
I'm a
point.
Conor McGregor fan because I'm a fan of the game, right? Biggest stars,
I am
biggest
also
crowd,
a fan.
most electricity, most hype.
Can you
It's
let
a
me?
different
Can you
kind of an
let me
event.
name the points for Israel? Israel DDP
There
though.
are no
This is the thing.
points,
This is the
bro.
thing. Okay.
There are no
There
points
are
because
points.
there are
Race.
no points because it's not gonna. It's not. It does not have the anywhere near the electricity that Conor brings.
This is such a shitty argument. What is
It's not an.
electricity?
It's not a shitty
What
argument.
thing?
This is about UFC 300, not
It
an
is a
average pay per
shitty
view.
argument. Okay,
It's
okay, okay,
not,
okay. Like we can do better than
bro. This
Connor.
is UFC 300, not a
We
normal pay
can
per
do
view.
better than Connor. We can do better
Impossible.
than Connor.
Not on a.
Connor is not.
See, if they had
Okay,
John Jones on the card,
okay, say whatever you want about Israel Adesanya. He is a great, great fighter. Connor at this point of time is not the barometer of excellence in UFC anymore. Why the fuck do we keep propping him up like that? That's my
because it's
point.
UFC 300,
Israel
it's about hype.
Adesanya is
It's boring.
what hype? I'm not hyped for Connor. I'm more hyped to see Israel's comeback. Honestly,
But,
honestly,
yeah,
if you just gonna go by,
but
if
most
you're
people
gonna
are
go
more
by
hype for
like
Conor.
hype,
Vast majority of
okay,
people are
but
more hype for
I'm,
Conor. This is
I,
about the
they're
fans.
not. Most people are not doing this podcast. Okay, most people don't remember
But
Asunsao
most people
versus
are the ones who
Cody
are supposed to
Garbrandt.
watch it.
My point is that I would genuinely be more hyped for Israel's comeback. I am more hyped for his comeback at
Hmm.
easy DDP at 300. Bro, that fight, do you know the stake it has on it? It's already a fight that is going to make a continent fall apart. If you add it to
Hmm.
300, the pressure builds. I'm telling you, you're going to get a cooker of a fight because that's a fight that can potentially heat up more. Diaz versus Conor, they're gonna be Diaz versus Conor every time. It's not like they're gonna show out extra for
As
300.
Diaz has
But
come back
Israel
to the
was
UFC out of nowhere. Yeah,
he
bro.
was always gonna come back. He was always gonna come back. He literally said while going away, I'm gonna come back. It's
But
not that big
yeah,
a deal.
true. But yeah, then you see DDP does not have to be on 300. Right? It can be on another pay per view. It's not that big of a deal because it's not 300 type material. Neither is he nor DDP has that kind of electricity.
Easy
And if you
versus
can
DDP for me definitely has it.
not 300 material, I don't mind it being the co-main. Take Yanveri out of there, put that as co-main. I don't mind that. But in terms of electricity,
You
in
can
terms
do wait, yeah, because okay. What says we can't have three title fights for 300? I mean the three is in the name. There's a three in the name, right?
see the thing is that
Good.
for UFC 200 we had Jones and Brock Lesnar on the same card.
Do you think UFC has struggled with building new stars as good as it used to previously? What do you think about that?
Um,
Because we're talking about
uh,
star factor now. I think it's a relevant discussion.
yeah, it is,
Because
it is, it
the
is.
fact that we have three title fights already, if we are counting Holloway and Max, which I know we're not supposed to, but I don't know. But coming back to the point of the struggle of getting a star on 300. Okay, just a hypothetical. If we are not going with Connor,
Hmm.
because I'm bored of Connor. What else do you think is worth UFC 300? No Connor.
Jones cheapest was
Jones,
worth it.
Jones. I was the first thing I went was Jones.
Yeah, goat versus goat.
DJ coming back. DJ coming back. Demetrius Johnson coming back.
Demetrius Johnson ain't coming back, and Demetrius Johnson is not big of a fight.
But DJ making a comeback. You think DJ making a comeback wouldn't be big of a fight? Dude, he beat
Short
that
time.
guy twice. Yeah, no,
Adriano
not just
Moraes.
Rod. Exactly, bro. You have DJ coming back with the added bonus
Bro, we
that
are
he's
talking
a
about star power.
champion.
DJ didn't even sell normal amount of pay-per-views when he was in the UFC, right?
I
There's
know,
no DJ coming back.
I know, but okay. So no. Even though
This is
again, I
some
think it
weird
would be a
hardcore
much.
fantasy reality where DJ is a star.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see anything but corner. Like I'm that guy right now. Like, what else can we
So
get there?
Connor
Is
would
there
actually
another
see the
option?
thing is that you saying you're bored of Connor. Connor barely fights for you to be bored of Connor, right? When he fights, it's a big fight. There's a different feeling to it.
I'm
You
just
see, you used to be a Conor
okay.
McGregor fan. I get
I'm
that you're disappointed, right? But your disappointment with the person
no,
that
no,
Conor
no, no,
McGregor is
no.
outside of the octagon is not what you measure. That is not the metric of the level of a fight that he brings.
I agree. I'm not trying to punish Connor. I'm just saying, okay, maybe I'm saying for the last two fights, I've been technically disappointed by Connor because
Mm.
technically,
Were they not amazing fights?
the level,
Were they not amazing fights?
no.
No.
First one was.
Him versus
First
Poirier was
one,
not an
first one
amazing
versus
fight.
Dustin was. Second one was not. The one where his leg went blah, 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 was
Until the
not.
leg
For
went
me.
happened, it was
For
an
me.
electrifying fight.
I wasn't very entertained by it. I thought it was
Really,
about
you
to
weren't
heat up.
entertained by two
Genuinely,
people. There was more action in the first round of Connor Dustin 2 than Issy's last five fights. This is just not a good take. You saying you're not entertained by it, but not entertained by watching people
Izzy's
throwing punches
last
and kicks.
five fights. Izzy's last five fights include him getting beaten by Strickland, him
Mm.
knocking the shit out of Alex Pereira in a banger
I mean
two
that's a
rounder.
great fight.
And
Yeah,
I know
that's a
what you're
great
trying
fight.
to say. I know what you're trying to say, but I'm just counting because you went Izzy's last five fights. So let's go
Oh,
Izzy's
okay.
last five fights. Him getting knocked out by Alex Pereira,
Mm.
boring ass fight against Jared Cannonier, and boring ass fight against Marvin Vettori.
Mm. And
Okay,
then
I
count a
think I
couple of
think
more fights now.
actually
Let's see how
okay,
good that works
boring
out
ass
for you.
fight against Whitaker. But my point is that there are boring fights in Easy. But I
There's
suggested to you,
never
let's go
been a
something
boring
other
corner fight.
corner and Easy.
Yeah, there are boring fights you see. Most of his stand
Let
defense are boring.
let
There's
us go.
never been a boring corner fight. Never. And there's never gonna
Can
be
we
a boring corner
discuss
fight.
anything but corner? Can we talk about something but corner? Can we have something else but corner? I'm just tired of tasting corner, man. I want
I
to
feel
taste
like this.
something else, man. What is
See, outside of the star power thing, there's never been a Bonner scoring fight. I like Bonner fight. Like I'll never agree to that.
my okay? Can we but talk? Can we go back to okay? No DJ, no John Jones. What else is worth 300 if not Con?
If not
Can you
Connor,
think?
if not Connor, then what?
Mm,
You know what
Fuck, I
I'd
think it
rather
has
watch
to be.
than ECDDP.
Yeah, yeah.
Issy Pereira, I'd lightweight. I'd light heavyweight.
Mm. Oh, that's dangerous. That's
Yeah, that's
dangerous.
that's
It's
dangerous and
dangerous
that's
for
very
our boy
exciting as
Izzy.
well. Settle the
That is
score.
true. That is true. Ooh, yeah. I'd pop for that. I'd pop hardcore for that. I would
Someone,
respect Izzy
someone's
way.
definitely getting finished in that fight.
Someone is probably Izzy. To be very honest, I think Izzy loses
Yeah,
that.
probably. See.
But I'd respect the shit out of him for taking that fight.
Oh, he's a
Uh,
killer. He fights people
especially
we'd be scared to look in
bigger.
the eye.
Yeah, but I would also say that Izzy is someone who, in every pressure situation, has done better than we think. Like when
Mm.
shit's really on fire, like when it's time to do or die.
Bro, there were so many moments in the DDP Strickland fight where DDP's throwing a punch, he misses, he goes off balance. I'm like, he's gonna jab the hell out of him, cross the hell out of him, you know,
Yeah,
because it's just easy pickings, right? Literally easy pickings.
easy pickings,
Yeah.
easy pickings.
But with Pereira at light heavyweight, that's gonna bring that complete understanding out.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Okay, you've
Yeah,
convinced me. I'm
yeah.
I'm taking off. You convinced me. See, I'm reasonable. I'm reasonable. Easy DDP is not the fight. If we go Easy Pereira, I am more
Yeah, I'm
happy
also
now
sold. Yeah,
because you're right. You are right on that. Easy Pereira, I think, ups the stakes in a level that is 300 worthy as well because it has that
yeah,
oomph
true.
for some reason.
Two big stars,
Yeah,
not just one star, two big
two big
stars.
stars. Opportunity for Easy to be double weight champ, which I
Yeah,
think is he deserves it. He deserves it.
plenty of backstory,
Uh,
just like the DDP
plenty of
thing.
backstory. Would definitely shut everyone up,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
easy
That's what I want
haters
to see as
can
an
go
Izzy
suck
fan, to be
it.
honest.
That is also there. That is also there. Would probably not add a lot to Alex Pereira's resume. No, no, no. It would. He got knocked out last time. It
Yeah,
definitely would add to his resume as well. Yeah, it would add to his
yeah.
as well. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, you've convinced me, bro. Can we book this? Do you want to call Dana or am I calling Dana? What a way to end our video. Hey guys, wait, no, 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 no. That's not the end. There is a way to win in MMA. And that way is to watch
Having
beautiful
Connor on
MMA
300.
fights, is to be a fan. It's to subscribe to MMA Monk. That's the way to win in MMA. What corner main event? Subscribing to MMA Monk is where the real shit is at.
So, guys, this is our first
It's a,
podcast episode.
yeah,
We both love UFC
yeah.
so much. We talk about this even without the camera rolling. So, we thought might as well
Hmm.
it's on camera, and we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna
You
like,
acknowledged it. It's a first podcast. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
like, subscribe, and follow for more because we're gonna keep on grinding.
And like, subscribe, and jack off to great MMA fights. That's what you should do,
Yeah.
right? Because MMA is where it's at. Because, like, okay, I'll be honest, because when we're talking about this, the reason I'm doing this with you and we're doing this because MMA is such a great sport. Like, there's so many other sports that bore the shit out of me mentally. This
Mhm.
is invigorating, intellectual, and
Unpredictable.
unpredictable and
Not just the fight,
inciting as
that's
hell.
everything. The setting up of the fight,
Yeah,
the falling out of the fight,
everything, everything.
roller
So,
coaster.
when we're talking about the podcast, that's why we're doing this because we literally drool when talking MMA.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have it any other way. So, good job, buddy. Fuck yeah.
Good
Let's
job. Yeah.